What's going on, everybody? Matty Ice here with Profit Props. This is the Sharp Side. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. It's been kind of back and forth this season. Really because I do have a really big partnership coming up for this show, actually sponsorship coming up for the show. And we've been kind of back and forth on when that launch date will be. So I was like kind of paused, waiting for that to happen. And then I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to just keep doing my thing. Keep doing the show. When I rebrand, but I felt like I was definitely leaving some viewership, some engagement on the table, not doing this every day. And I like doing this shit every day. So big things coming for the show, very big sponsorship coming, but that's probably still a few weeks away. I think it'll be great for the show. It is going to be great. I'm going to have a much better intro, much better outro, much better visuals, much better. Everything visually will be better with this partnership. I mean, I'll just say it. It's with X-Pix. I mean, if you're paying attention, I'm working with them now. And they're really, they're trying to do a lot to make 2025 very successful. So it's kind of like we're in a lull right here, right? So we got the end of the year's coming. There's a big event next week. I'm going to make a lot of content there. NBA is very light next week. There's one game between, just the NBA Cup game. Basically like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That game's Wednesday. So very light week. Then you have the holidays. So, I mean, I don't know how – I want to do the show as often as possible between now and January 1st, 2025. But know that there's kind of like a launch pad expectation for the show come that time, and that's why shit's been a little light. But I plan to just go as often as I can until then, like I said. And when the rebrand happens, the rebrand happens. We'll be moving on from the name The Sharp Side. I do think I'll keep that for a 1 episode per week show, but then change it for the daily show. Maybe leave football as The Sharp Side Monday, Thursday, primetime games, and then have a different daily show for the NBA. So that's the update. Y'all that have been tapped in, I appreciate it. Not been the greatest NBA season to date. We've had hot streaks and cold streaks. Really need to lock in, focus on the betting, focus on making money. And really turn this season around. We're still up, but we're not up near what we need to be in either sport, NBA or NFL. All right, there's my spiel. Let's get to the plays. I've only got one active play, Fred VanVleet under 17.5 points. Holy shit. 148's available. We locked this in for minus 110 this morning. Look, y'all, I got to be like dead ass with you. There's been a lot of plays this year where I feel like I got the right, we're on the right side of it. We'll get 17.5, 110, closes 16 minus 125. Feels like there's been a lot of variance this year. We've got a great number. I love it. The read, in my opinion, the read was spot on. Now we just need to close the deal. Let's break it down a little bit more for Fred. So in this very same matchup, he scored 11 in the last time, 13 and 11 in the two matchups versus Golden State this season. So when I saw 17.5 this morning, that was absolutely crazy to me. His season average right now is 16 points per game, as you can see here. Averaging 16 per game, averaging 16 over his last 10 versus 9 versus Golden State, but he's under in 5 straight versus Golden State. Let's talk about Golden State and why it's a bad matchup. They're allowing the third fewest points to pick and roll ball handlers, and they're allowing the second fewest points in transition. Well, 53% of Fred VanVleet's points come from those two positions. And now if we can even look into it farther, teams in the top half of the league versus pick and roll ball handlers, Fred's over this line in just 2 of 11 games this season, averaging 13.3 points per game. You know what? Honestly, on my end, it should have been a 2-unit play. And if you haven't locked this in yet, I still think it's worth 1 unit. I do still think it's a 1-unit play at 16.5 personally. What's this notification? All right, we're good. So Fred VanVleet is my 1 straight. And if again, I hope I have it to where y'all can put in comments. If you have any requests, go ahead and fill them in there. I do have a parlay for tonight's slate as well. It's going to be 3 guys that score 20 each. And if everything goes to plan at 7 p.m., we're going to have a decent opportunity to maybe try to middle Steph. We played it at 150, so we could put like a half a unit down and negate most risk, try to hit both sides. We could play a whole unit down. We could negate all risk, could win 2 units in that, put ourselves in a position to make a little bit. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But my first one in that scenario is Towns to score 20 plus. As you can see, he's over in 17 of 22 games played this season. He also had 34 in the matchup versus Atlanta earlier this season. Let me pull up some more data over here. Also, cool thing to note, one of my ex-picks partners had brought this to my attention, and I'm going to try to do it. Those of you that have been following me for a while, you know I make projections. And if you've been in the Discord, you probably can vouch for this. I don't make the best visual graphics for those. Like, it's just an Excel copy and paste for me. Part of the really cool things of me joining X-Picks is I have a whole media team behind me. It's actually crazy. Come 2025, I think things are going to look a lot different around here. But I have a whole media team behind me, and I'm having him work with me. I'm going to have a projection sheet posted here soon too. And if you're in the Discord, it'll probably be for every game. But then on the timeline, I think I want to take like the top 5 points projections that I have, different rebounds, assists, 3-pointers made, and maybe post a couple graphics a day to fill in the timeline there. So that's another cool thing coming with the team that I'm working with now. So we took Karl-Anthony Towns 20 plus. Oh, let me go into that a little bit deeper. So they're 20th versus pick and roll man. I'm sorry, they're 19th in free throws, 20th in spot up. Players versus position are players with a similar archetype are, just absolutely annihilating Atlanta. But true centers in general as well are annihilating Atlanta. So easy spot for him. We like playing players like this, Thibs guys, because Thibs could play and even in a blowout. I know Trey was popular today. He did not make it on the 20-plus parlay, but I am considering, maybe even on the stream, throwing together one more parlay, much smaller odds. I laid a full unit on the first parlay. This one would probably be like a 1/10 of a unit. And it would be a fun, not this. It won't be plus EV. This will be a fun bet. 5 into 500 type shit, 6 legs, all autos type shit. We might come back to that. I like his threes today. I just think he's going to be chucking. But 110, I don't know. I'd rather buy up and go for it. My guy Miles McBride. Let's stay with the parlay. We got Cat 20 plus. We also went Brunson 20 plus. He's over in 8 of his last 9 versus Atlanta. The last time he didn't go over was back in 2022. Over in every game last season, over in the game this season. I'm sorry. Over in 20 of 24 this season. He did not go over in every game last season. This is 23-24, so that was 22-23. Yeah, every game but 2. That game he only played 26 minutes. Nonetheless, it's 4 straight in 20 and 24 this year. Let's go talk about how they defend his primary scoring types. So they're 30th versus pick and roll ball handler, meaning they allow the most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers. That's where Brunson's scoring about 33% of his points, by far the largest play type that he's scoring from. Also over 9 of his last 10. So that's 2 of the legs. The third leg, before we start going over each individual guy, we have Curry over in 9 straight versus Houston, over in 12 of his last 18. And if you look when he plays 30 plus this season, he's over in 9 of 11. So love this spot for Curry. 24-25 may be a different story. And like I said, those of you in the Discord, maybe even on the timeline, we might have a middle opportunity come to the late game. So that's the parlay. You got the straight, you got the parlay. Let's kind of just do our OG thing and go through each guy individually. Clint, I don't like playing the centers on this team. Pardon me, can be feast or famine for either guy either night. Yeah, I'm not touching either center. Actually, let me just double check. They're actually ranked 24th versus pick and roll men. This would be a live play. I think if you see one of these guys playing well, take them early. Hope that they keep riding the hot hand. Again, Trey, nothing for me straight. I did see people shout out Austin's props, obviously a GOAT in the industry. I saw he got on that 19.5 last night. Released it this morning. I think it had already moved his Discord, which is crazy. His Discord moved it overnight. Which my little Discord does as well, but I can't imagine what his does. If you got that number, good for you. I wouldn't play it at the current price. I would. Now he is going to chuck, but here's this whole thing, like this Trey in New York, like it ain't been all that recently, so I don't know what all the hype is, back here, 21, 22 was a thing, hasn't been a thing recently. So I don't get all the hype about Trey in New York. If you got the 19.5, I think it was a good play. Over that, I wouldn't touch it. Brunson, I watered this down, obviously. I like it at 20. Do not like his current line. But as I stated, they are the worst team versus pick and roll ball handlers. So I fucked up last time I played Brunson and took his assists under in a similar position because generally he has not assisted well versus teams that are poor versus pick and roll ball handlers. He's normally scored well. But in that last game, he had 8 assists. We had under 7.5. That was another one. We had a good number. I think we laid even money and it closed -125. Negative theoretical hold on the close, but none of that pays you. You got to win the bet, and that's the most important thing, and we didn't do that. I took his 20, not touching his assists. Feel like I've learned that lesson. But let me give you a little stat. No, I'm clicking the wrong shit. Also, Towns is a game time decision. I don't think that's an issue. Same thing happened last time I played him. It was Toronto on the 9th. Yep, that was the last time. Before that, he had been under in six that were against his play type in the top 10. So I'm not touching it. I'm not touching his assists, not touching his points straight either. But I do like him at 20 plus. Dyson Daniels has been a guy this year that, some people have really, really, really ran up some money on him. His steals tonight even looks good. Dyson Daniels over 2.5 steals. Feels like there's some value there. Raheem Mostert was limited in practice today for anyone tracking that. Also, go run up the most recent play, Profits Parlay. It's posted, the parlay that I went over on stream. It's posted. Go show some love there. I'm giving away 25 if it sweeps. And honestly, there's a good chance Dez comes behind it and gives more away. So wouldn't miss out on that. I like Dyson Daniels steals over. I'd like to know where his points and assists open. Points and assists. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's been all over the place. 16, then 14, then 15. No matter what side you wanted of this one, you didn't get the best number. I'm going to leave it alone, but I do lean over. If you got this 14.5 at a decent number, which I don't think that 14.5 at MGM is still there, but I'm going to go check just because. That 14.5 -125. Also, let me check with Bogdan back. Bogdan game time decision as well. Yeah, down a lot with Bogdanovich. Let's go to underdog. First, I got to know who's playing. Underdog NBA. Towns and Trey and DeAndre Hunter are all probable. Sengun, Jalen Johnson, Josh Hart, and Bogdan all questionable. All right, I'm not going to touch Dyson Daniels until we have more news there. I am going to keep it a buck, though. I do like Jalen Johnson's points over. I know he's questionable. If he plays, though, it's just – hold on a second. He had what in the last game? He had 23 in the last matchup versus the Knicks. It's a good game for Trey. They're 29th versus pick-and-roll ball handlers. They're 11th versus spot up. How many threes did he hit in that game? He was 3 for 6 in that game. He had 18 field goal attempts. I lean Jalen Johnson's points over. I'm not going to take it tonight. Let's go look at his PRAs over. No, I like that less. Yeah, they're taxing on those assists too. All right, I'm off of it. I lean over on Jalen Johnson's points. If we come back at the end and throw a parlay together, I like him 15 plus. Sengun under PRA. I will definitely go. I'm glad you commented because I didn't know if Twitter comments are working. So good looks, bro. Good looks, Rico. Good looks, Rico. Man, I almost played this over this morning. Looks like I should have. Let's go look at Mikhail's. Points. Damn. Yeah, I should have played this morning. Mikal Bridges. They're 20th versus spot up, 16th in transition. His field goal attempts have been there too. He's over in 5 straight. Let's go look at the last 10. 14.6 average on the season. Field goal attempts per game, 15.2. 13 plus in all but one. Fuck. Bridges 15 plus 2, probably a good one. Maybe we do come back and throw another little parlay for this one. I like Johnson 15. I like Bridges 15. Also like Josh Hart for 10. I know he's questionable as well. I like Hunter as well before we get to Hart. This is the problem with this Jalen Johnson play. Also like DeAndre Hunter. Now, granted, there's been plenty of games where they've both hit the over. Like, take out the last game, and it was 5 straight. Similar kind of player archetypes. I think it's slightly better for Jalen Johnson tonight if he plays. Was Hunter healthy for the last matchup? He did not play them yet this season. Okay. Also worth noting for Johnson going over. I lean over for Johnson. I lean over for Hunter. Hard for me to pull on either one of those guys. I think that was my cat. But I do like both for 15. Maybe we do run another lay. And then at last but not least, man, Josh Hart 10 plus is free parlay piece every fucking day. So look for me to play this again. That's probably it right there. 15 for Hunter, 15 for Jalen Johnson, 10 for Hart, and it's probably plus money. I really like that play. Rebounds, I think Cat was at like 12.5, 13.5. It was between, I think, the two of them. Yeah, there were definitely 12.5s this morning. I looked here, not a position I want to attack. Again, I spoke on Brunson's assist, also not a position I want to attack. Centers for Atlanta, just an iffy spot for me. But Clint do be hitting 8.5 no matter what his minutes are. That being said, they do allow the second fewest. Not a read for me. Jalen Johnson, as I spoke on, I think is too high. The assists I went over. Trey, 11.5, nah. That 10.5, too juicy for me. Against team allowing the 8th fewest. Nothing else in this game for me. 3-pointers, I talked about Trey a little bit, but no, there's going to be nothing. Let's move on to the Houston game. We had a request on a Sengun under PRA. Sounds like something that's right up my alley. Let's do some further digging. This is a play that Rico knows. This is a Prophet's favorite, one of Prophet's favorites. I can't see everywhere on my odds screen, Rico, but is Fliff really 38.5, 130? NBA, Houston, player props, PRAs. They fucking are. All right, y'all don't go ruin that number before I go check these other two places. Let's check Rivers. Let's check MGM because they both suck. Make sure there's not a 115 before we go ruin this flip line for everybody. Hold on a second. Let's do our due diligence. You found one, Rico. 38.5, 130. I will lay the 130. I will hate if this is only one place, though. What's the alternate? Because they do alternates here at 162. Yeah, I got it, Rico. They are there. Hold on a second. I got to go check MGM. We're just going to make sure. They don't even have combos. There they are. That's still good, breadsticks. That's still good. They're at 38.5 minus 155 at MGM. That's not some bullshit. Yo, I'm playing this Fliff number, but if you don't have Fliff, I would still play the 37.5. There's a 115 at DK. I don't know what you're getting. 125. It's 115 at DK as well. I'm going to check Caesars. I'm fairly confident they're not going to be there. Man, I hope I gotta do this quick because I don't want to lose Fliff. Rico, don't fucking hammer that until we check. Player combos. They're at 137. Okay, so that makes me feel better because if you don't have the Fliff out, I would still play that at 137. I'm gonna check ESPN real quick, and then we're gonna fucking go. I don't want to log in. This isn't the phone I bet that on. Where's my other phone? Fuck. Player points, rebounds, and assists. Sengun 36.5. No. Okay, I'm going to Fliff. I'm gonna hit it, then I'm gonna release it. And it's if you don't have Fliff, Caesars is still playable. All right, we're in there. Now let me get it released. Shout outs to my guy Rico. Fire, Rico, fire. Good call, good catch. Sengun under 30, 38.5 PRA minus 130. Sorry, boys. I got to get this out. I'm trying to get it done as quick as possible. All right. Shout outs to my guy. I love that. I love that play. Under 38.5. That's the late game. I'm going to get an X picks right up for that. Shout outs to my guy, Rico. Appreciate you, bro. Definitely a solid find. Definitely want to be on that. Game by game basis, we're already on Van Fleet under 17.5. I already spoke on that. Curry, we already kind of spoke about too. I'm on his over 20 plus. But again, 24.5, 25.5, kind of skeptical. So I'm hoping we can get into the late game and maybe try to middle that. Hopefully he falls between 20 and 25. People might think that sounds crazy. But he's under 25 and 6 of 18. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's done it 5 times this season. If you go back to last season, I bet it's a lot more than that. So, again, maybe try and middle that spot later this evening with the parlay we have. Kuminga moved into the starting lineup. Seen his field goal attempts per game go up. I say we have a floor tonight of 12. Say we have a floor tonight at 12. Yeah, that's probably a ceiling. Do kind of like Kuminga over 16.5. They're 11 in transition, but they are number 2 versus spot-up shooters. He had 33 versus them on the 5th just a week ago, 6 days. He had 22 season-high field goal attempts in that one, but Curry didn't play in that game, nor Draymond. $16, $15, $22, $18. I like Kuminga over. I don't know that I love it, but I do like it. I do like Kuminga's over. What's the market done? $365 is the last. No, Fanatics just went back. And FanDuel's even money on the 17. Because it's a cup game, the FanDuel opened props on the 9th, 2 days ago. Opened it at 13.5 and quickly went 15.5, then 16.5, now 17.5. Upset I didn't get the best of this number. Hold on, I just got another notification. No clue where it went. All right, my fault, boys. Keeping it pushing. Lean Kuminga over. I'm gonna leave it as a lean, but a strong lean. Maybe we do if yeah. Let's just see. It'll probably be a parlay piece. Actually, I like him for 15 as well. Wiggins is questionable. Only had 19 in the last game. Probably a good spot to stay away from there. My guy, Buddy. What did Buddy have in the last game? I know Curry didn't play either. Yeah, he only had 5 points in 27 minutes. 1 for 6 from 3. They're very good versus off screen. They're very good versus spot up. Not a good spot for Buddy. Actually, probably lean under here for Buddy if we're being honest. Looney over 6.5 boards as a parlay piece. Yeah. Yeah, it's juicy, but yeah. I mean, if 4.5 is really only minus 345, that might even be a parlay piece. Yeah, I like Looney's rebounds over as a parlay piece. I will agree with that. That's all for points in this game. We just spoke rebounds over for Looney. Parlay piece. I like it. Let's see what Curry's assists have done. I'm not going to play it. I already know that, but I feel like I lean over. I just want to see if the market agrees. Yeah. That Fanatics minus 125. I mean, Rivers 127. FanDuel's 128. I lean over for that Curry assist. I do lean over for that Curry assist line. Yeah. 365 is also 125. So. Not going to play it, but I do lean that way. We had a couple more requests. Draymond's threes. Super plus money. Man, they're really good versus spot-up shooters, Rico. Really good versus spot-up shooters. You got to ask yourself, are they going to give Draymond one? That would be my concern. Do they let Draymond shoot to free up, some defense on some other guys? If so, I like it for Dre. Super plus money. It's not a bad read, man, but they're very good versus spot up shooters. So that's a tough call for me. Yeah, that's a tough call for me. I'll probably leave that one alone. What do you think, though? Should we cook up one more? Let me just see. We like Johnson. We liked Hunter. Kuminga. I liked Hart for 10 even. I liked Hart for 10. I like Johnson for 15. I like Hunter for 15. That's already plus 200. I'm already on those guys at 20, so let's leave that alone. Kuminga at 15. That 4-leg parlay right there is plus 370. I like that 4-leg parlay right there. Wait, do I have a no sweat? %30 hump day parlay boost. No sweats. I don't have my DraftKings phone on me. Let me just go here. If I need to make a bet on DraftKings, I'll need to go get it anyways. DraftKings got a no sweat, boys. Shout outs to the 100th person that just joined. I appreciate you. Happy to still be doing numbers like this after all the hiatus and shit. So we do have a no sweat for DraftKings. All right. Man, I don't like doing water downs for no sweats, man. I really like to send them bitches. What are we doing here? How are we using this no sweat, fellas? What are we thinking? No sweat for tonight. Towns at 34 in the last one. Let's go talk about how they play him. Wouldn't it be sick if Trey did have a 30 piece tonight? I just don't know if I can put it together how he gets there. They're 29th versus pick and roll ball handlers. They're 18th in defensive rating. He's had two 30-point games versus similar matchups. They're 20th in three-pointers allowed. Can I get there that way? No. That would be for the vibes. What about threes? What about threes? No. He had 20 field goal attempts in the first game. I mean, that's promising. If we could get that kind of volume, I'd feel a lot better about a 30 piece. Is the volume going to be there? He scored 30 in 4 games with 20 plus field goal attempts. Man, I'm just feeling like Trey's going to do the normal ass Trey thing and just pass the fuck out of the ball, which ain't bad. I actually really like point guards that do that. But Towns 30, Trey 30, 30 for 30. Steph ain't putting up 30 tonight, right? Man, it would be dope for the vibes, but I feel like there's a better way to use my money. What's it pay out? 30 for 30. 2020. Throwing no sweat on there. $25 pays out 530. Karl Anthony Towns, Trey Young, Steph Curry, all to go for 30. Man, that's a vibes play. That's not super sharp. That's a vibes play. All right, that's it. Shameless plug. I gotta spend some more time on this because I think this is the one. $20. I mean, we're throwing a moonshot here. I'm not. It's a prayer. Fuck it. I'm locking it in as my no sweat. Oh well, I accidentally hit place bet anyway, so we're good. We're in that bitch. All right, that's it. That calls it. That's the show. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. By the way, I only put $20 on that because that's all I was allowed to put, not 25. It's a little 0.2 parlay for me. We've got shout outs to my guy Rico, Mindful Misbehavior. We're on that under Sengun, under 38.5 PRAs. Caesars was still there, minus 137. I think that's playable. We could also play the 37.5 if you don't have Fliff or Caesars. So we got the Sengun under, Fred VanVleet under 17.5 in that game. We've got the parlay posted to my page. Appreciate any engagement y'all can give there. It's 20-20-20. Steph, Karl Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson. Then I just did throw a $20 no sweat. Curry, Towns, Trey, all to have 30. I'll post that slip. It'll be cool. That's a vibes play, man. 20 units. That's what you want to see. That is not super sharp. Please do not think it's super sharp. But I do think the unders, both unders are sharp, both straights. That's all I got for today. I expect to be back. It's a weird week. There's games tomorrow, though, right? Let me double check that real quick. Yeah, we got 3 games tomorrow, and I think a whole slate Friday. So we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, best of luck tonight. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Let's go.